Welcome back my fellow Force users, I'm your host Triple S, and in this video I'll be breaking down the 5th episode of the first season of Ahsoka titled Shadow Warrior. Let's begin. Number 1, and right off the bat,
one is never too old to learn, Snips.
I think the Jedi Council would disagree with you there, Anakin. Number 2,
I won't fight you.
I've heard that before.
I will not fight you, Father.
Number 3, so now we get a mention of Leia rather than back in episode 3 during Hera's meeting with Chancellor Mothma and a bunch of senators. Number 4, I'm so glad Hera actually listened to Jason trying to tell her something because I hate the trope of adults refusing to listen to kids who have something helpful or important to say. Number 5, okay, these flashback vision sequences kick ass so hard, and instead of me doing separate points for everything I unashamedly fanboyed over when I first watched this episode, I'll just list them all here now. Phase 1 Clone Trooper armor, and I mean actual IRL armor, not just CGI like in Attack of the Clones. Anakin and Ahsoka's Clone War outfits, though I noticed they gave Ahsoka a significantly less revealing outfit than what she had in early Clone Wars, which is a good call in my opinion. Mandalorian Super Commandos, I bet a lot of people who haven't seen the Clone Wars are confused why these Mandalorians look like Maul. And Commander Rex voiced by Tamara Morrison and the 332nd Company wearing the helmets they painted to resemble Ahsoka's facial markings. So cool! Number 6, young Ahsoka here is played by Ariana Greenblatt, who you might recognise as having previously played young Gamora in Avengers Infinity War and Sasha in the Barbie movie.
Fascist?
I think she does a really good job playing Ahsoka here, and seeing her act alongside Hayden Christensen now makes me want a live-action Sky Guy and Snips miniseries. Number 7, with all these Twi'leks around, I can only assume this flashback vision takes place on Ryloth, which would make sense with Ahsoka saying this was one of their first missions, as it was as seen in the Clone Wars Season 1, 3 parts of episodes 19, 20 and 21, where the Republic helps liberate Ryloth. And it doubly makes sense since in episode 19, Storm over Ryloth, Ahsoka voices the same feelings over losing so many of the men under her command. Although in the Clone Wars Ahsoka lost clones during a space battle rather than a ground assault, current day Ahsoka is probably just remembering back to what she felt at that time and applying it here. Number 8, I was really hoping with Anakin mentioning separatist droids we'd get to see them slice up some clankers. Alas, we do not. Number 9, is it just a trick of the lightsaber light, or does anyone else think Ahsoka's eyes actually turned all Sith here for a moment? We interrupt this Triple S Variety Channel video to bring you this important message. Have you remembered to carry out the 3 S's? S number 1, subscribe to the Triple S Variety Channel. S number 2, smash that like button. And S number 3, share this video with friends, family, and relevant communities. We now return you to your Triple S Variety Channel video already in progress. Number 10, and Ahsoka has learned her lesson, just like Luke learned his in Return of the Jedi when he chose not to kill his father. Unironically, and I know some people might roll their eyes or get mad at me for saying this, both Luke and Ahsoka have chosen to not fight what they hate, but save what they love. Luke chose to love and save his friends and father rather than hate and fight him and Sidious. Ahsoka here chooses to love and save her friends and herself rather than hate and fight Thrawn and who she is. This was both their final lessons into becoming Jedi, going beyond the teachings of their masters. Both Obi-Wan and Yoda trained Luke to face Darth Vader and the Emperor. With Anakin having turned to the dark side, they now believed it was Luke who was the chosen one, the one who would bring balance to the Force by destroying the Sith. If he had done what they had trained him to do, he would have fallen just like his father before him. Ahsoka was trained by Anakin in a time of war. She was taught how to be a soldier, to end conflict with her lightsabers rather than with words more often than not. She had never been a Jedi since all the Jedi, due to the Clone Wars, had ceased being Jedi and become soldiers, generals, peacemakers through aggression rather than peacekeepers through diplomacy. This is why Ahsoka comes back as Ahsoka the White. She has a new purity of will and direction. She no longer views her task as stopping Thrawn no matter the cost, even if it means sacrificing the chance to rescue Ezra, but rather it's now to save Ezra and Sabine. To save Sabine from falling to the dark side by no longer putting her duty to stop Thrawn above the feelings Sabine has for Ezra. To not repeat the mistakes of the Jedi Council, who put their duty of adhering to the Jedi Code above the feelings of Anakin, and just as Sidious manipulated those feelings Anakin had to turn into the dark side, so too has Baylan manipulated Sabine's feelings for Ezra to get her to willingly join them in going to the distant galaxy. Ahsoka has learnt that though she is everything that Anakin was, as he had taught her all she knows, she needed to stop focusing on the monster he became, but rather on the man he was. He was someone who loved and was loved, who believed in what was right and just. Yes, he had darkness in him, but everyone does, and it's what you choose to do that will decide whether that darkness will take over or not. Under the misguidance and manipulation of the Jedi Council and Sidious, Anakin tragically fell, but from that fall came first his son, and now his Padawan to face the darkness and remain in the light. Number 11, so it would appear that all the people freaking out that Ahsoka would use the Will Between Worlds to teleport to the distant galaxy, or time travel to undo Baylan destroying the star map, or, hilariously, create a multiverse so that the sequel trilogy would be erased, We're freaking out for nothing. Number 12, did anyone else find it a little weird to see Ahsoka not wearing a form of headband? Like, seeing no clear divide between the orange and white of her skin is odd to see. Number 13, speaking of her headbands, this new one she now wears is very reminiscent of the one she wore during the Siege of Mandalore and Order 66, with like a gap at the front that looks like something could be slotted into it. Number 14, I love that instead of the Purgle Ultra like grabbing hold of Ahsoka's ship to take it on its jump, the episode goes all Finding Nemo with them hitching a ride inside its mouth. Number 15, I wonder if we'll see much more of Hera, Jason and Chopper this season. Seeing Jason tapping into the Force this episode has got me wondering why Ahsoka has been training Sabine instead of him. Is it because she finds it easy to train a warrior to be a warrior since she herself was trained to be a soldier? Or does Hera have reservations about Jason becoming a Jedi, which she knows he wants to be because of memories she has of his dad, Kanan? To round all this off, my most disliked part of the episode goes to not seeing some battle droids during the Clone Wars flashback visions. And my most liked part of the episode goes to the Clone Wars flashback visions, seeing Anakin, young Ahsoka, and all the details listed from animation and put into live action. That was breaking down episode 5 of Ahsoka. Yes, I know this is a pretty short video, even though the episode was longer than like the previous two, maybe even all the episodes previously, but there just didn't seem to be a lot to talk about. It was a lot more like action and yeah, you know. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I've been Triple S, you've all been amazing, and I shall see you all in the next video.